Hey guys, so this is new. You guys get to see my face for once, which is not something we typically do on this channel. Gonna have to rename the channel to Face Studios, am I right? This is gonna be my last upload. So yeah, we're doing something a little different today because I don't know, this is a big video for us. This is 5 years in a row of doing this drawing challenge. 5 years is a really long time, and this has been kind of like an important milestone for me, just like as an artist and just as a person. So I thought it'd be fun, you know, just come down, sit down here in my basement. This is my basement, by the way. There's a Mandalorian poster with Grogu on it. That's fun. Yeah, so this is Inktober. For anyone who doesn't know, we'll just do the quick usual rundown. Inktober is just a drawing challenge that goes over the course of the month of October, where you do one drawing a day, and it results in you creating 31 drawings over the course of the whole month. And it's a lot of work. 31 drawings is a lot, especially when you're doing one a day, especially when you're in college. Like me, I'm in college. I'm in art school, so you know, on top of this, I've got, you know, projects, I got essays and presentations I had to write. I'm gonna be honest, I had some of the highest highs, and then also some of just the absolute lowest lows. Low lows. So yeah, I'm ready to just dive in. So this is the book right here, Basic Black Sketchbook for this year. Just keeping it simple, keeping it humble. All right, we're just gonna flip through and see where. All right, so day one, we're about to reveal it right here, baby. And boom, backpack. Now, you might be wondering, where's the line shading? I didn't do it this year. Not because I'm lazy. It's not because I'm lazy, but it's because we brought back digital coloring versions. So we have the digital colorings back. I did those for the first 2 years of the challenge. I would scan in the drawings every single day and color them digitally on the computer, which on one hand might seem like a lot of extra work, but it allows me to kind of like do a lot more to the picture that would otherwise take even more time to do on paper. So it kind of pays off and enhances the image in a way that I feel is worth the amount of time that it takes. So I mostly just stuck to baseline work with the pens, but I'm still really happy with how it came out. Like this one I'm really proud of. I kind of wanted to take this year to kind of, I don't know, branch out a little bit with just the themes and the style in general. I don't know, I was so excited to get back into drawing because I hadn't drawn really in a really long time. Because this channel is all about Blender and 3D stuff now, and you know, I don't know, I really missed drawing, so I really got into it. So day two, let's get rid of the digital coloring for a second. Over here, we have little thumbnail sketches actually. So the night before the next day, I would typically do just a couple like quick thumbnail sketches to kind of get the idea down. So then the next day, I would just be good to go, and I could start sketching out the actual final drawing. So this little strategy was actually really helpful. But that was for Discover, and this is the final result. Really happy with this drawing, actually. This is one of my favorites. So this is a police officer, and he's discovering a dead body in the trunk of this car. He's like, uh-oh, something smells bad. Yeah, this one was really fun to draw. And again, I think the line work in this one might actually be the strongest of like all the drawings from this year. And I really like adding like these little comic book like elements with like the speech bubbles and stuff. And then the digital coloring came out really nice for this one. I'm really happy with that. Just day two, Discover all around, really nice. So over here on to day three, which is boots. I did not know what to do for this day. I was kind of stuck. I knew I wanted to do something with like an actual boot, but I didn't know what. And I was like, oh, it should be like trippy. So I had like some spider legs coming out of a boot. I had a guy in rain boots sitting, and that was really boring, so I didn't do that. Then I had this one where it was just kind of like a bone sticking out of the boot, and I was like, oh, that's kind of cool. So that's what we ended up going with, and it's okay. Yeah, I don't know, all around this is kind of just like an okay, mediocre one. I think it's probably better than what I thought it was, but who cares? All right, we got 31 of these, by the way, so I'm going to try and pick up the pace a little bit. Day four was exotic. So I had very different ideas for this one, as you can tell. I thought about like doing something from like more other cultures or something. So like this is kind of like an Aztec inspired monster. I had this like cultist guy, which was really cool, but I feel like it didn't really fit the vibe. Didn't fit the prompt really all that much. Then I have this one, which is just like this creature that was kind of floating in a test tube. And that's what we ended up going with in the final result for the day. And I'm actually really happy with this one. And the coloring turned out awesome. So this is one of the very few that actually has like color in it. Most of them are black and white just because I kind of like the consistency of it. And it was easier. It was like a big time saver, but like I liked this one. It's like very monochrome too. And then we move on to day 5, which is binoculars. Before we continue though, I'm just gonna address the question that I know you've all been asking. Spencer, what is that t-shirt that you're wearing under that super cool Johnny Cash hoodie? Well, I'm glad you asked. I think I got stuck. This is a lot harder than I thought it was gonna be. Oh my god, is that the Blank Face Studios Red Black Skull t-shirt? Who knew that was under there? Yeah, this is a t-shirt I designed. It's kind of hard to fit it all on the screen. I don't really fit. I'm like 6'5". Now I know what you're thinking, where can I get one of these puppies for myself? Well, using the link in the description down below, there's actually a link to my Redbubble store where you can get one of these puppies for an undisclosed price. Future me, put up the price of the t-shirts right now. I say that because by the time this video comes out, these guys actually might be on sale. They go as low as $16, so for just 16 bucks, you can buy one of these sick, awesome shirts for yourself, for a friend, or a loved one. You know, Christmas is coming up, you know, need a gift around the holidays. To get somebody a cool shirt. Also, if you want another way to support me, I actually have a Patreon page. Starting at just $1 a month, you guys can just support me a little bit. I'd really, really appreciate it. But if you pay $3 or $5 a month, which I know is a heftier price, you actually get some really cool bonuses. You get early access to videos. So when this video comes out, everyone on Patreon has actually seen it a week prior. And you also get access to all the blend files from my videos, special behind the scenes content. I'm gonna start playing Alien Isolation on there. That'll be pretty fun. So you get to watch me piss my pants and scream like a little girl. I'd pay $5 for that. But yeah, if you want a cool t-shirt, links down in the description. I'd really appreciate it. And back to the video. You know, there's always a few days in the year where it's like, okay, it's a bit of a stretch, but we'll give it to him. And this is one of those days. This is actually a really cool idea. I don't know why I didn't do this, because this would have been sick. I don't know what the hell this is. It makes me feel very uncomfortable looking at it, actually. That's gonna be in my nightmares tonight when I go to bed. But yeah, this thumbnail's sick. I kind of wish I went with that, and it fits the prompt a lot more. What I ended up going with is the starred one here, of just like these big eyeball things, because I didn't want to just draw binoculars. So I thought eyeballs or eyesight or like looking at something kind of fit the prompt. The line art's pretty cool, but the digital version is awesome. Like, I'm really happy with the atmosphere that was kind of built up in this drawing. Especially just like the line work in here. On this character over here, I'm just really happy with how all of that came out. I think that looks really, really cool. So it's kind of like this guy bowing down and praying to these otherworldly beings. They're like gods, like just these massive towering creatures that just look down on him. I don't know, I think it's really cool, just like a creepy sort of concept. So yeah, that's day 5, binoculars. I'm really happy with that one. Day 6 is Trek. So I actually have a bone to pick real quick. This is going to be a side tangent. I'm going to give you a rundown. I have a cheat sheet over here that I've been reading off of. I don't know if you can see that. These are all the words. They're going to be mirrored for you. Don't try to read them. I'm going to read off for you a few words, and I want you to try and think of how those words are similar to one another. It's a little game we're going to play. First, we have Trek. Then, 2 days after that, we have hike. 2 days after that, we have nomadic. 3 days after that, we have roam. Then we also have expedition, road, navigator. Do any of these words sound like synonyms? Because if you're thinking, yes, they do, you would be right. This year is made up of like so many words that are basically the same thing. Part of me was like, okay, well, I'll take that as an added challenge, you know, try and interpret them a different way. But like hike and trek, look, I can only do people walking somewhere so many times. But this first one, which is day 6, Trek, came out really cool. I'm really happy with it. So this is the thumbnail sketch I ended up going for. I got a couple other ones. I think these two are actually pretty interesting compositionally, and this one's just like a guy dragging a dead body. And this is what the final result looked like. I used to really suck at backgrounds and environments, mostly. I was not very good at those. So, I don't know, I'm just really happy with how these mountains came out. I think they look really, really cool. And the digital version then, obviously, which will be over here, looks really, really good. I'm really happy with that one. But yeah, these cultist guys are really fun characters to draw. I think they were featured a couple years ago in another Inktober that we did. But yeah, it's a cool one. It's one of my favorites. And the next day is day 7, which is Passport. And these are my thumbnail sketches for that. So we got a couple. This one's horizontal. But mostly I just kind of wanted to go with a sort of composition where a hand is reaching out, asking for something. I kind of like the idea of this ticket booth. I sort of wish that I had gone for that, because I think this one... Here, I'll flip it around for you guys. This composition would have been really, really interesting to go with. And I kind of wish I had done that. But alas, I think I ended up going with this one. So let's just take a look at that. And yeah, this one's actually pretty cool. I always love drawing these guys. I think this is their first appearance this year. But this character was born in Inktober, the first year, is when I created that character. And it's always nice to kind of bring them back. I think I try and feature them once a year in the challenge, just because it's tradition, man. You gotta include them. So he's asking this old lady for her passport, I guess, but it's kind of maybe supposed to symbolize like death. Like this is just the line of people waiting to get into hell or heaven or the afterlife, whatever you believe. Doesn't matter. But yeah, I just think it's a cool kind of concept. And then the digital coloring came out pretty nice. But yeah, it's a cool one. I really like that one. Moving on, we got day 8, which is Hike. More people walking. Yay! But actually, I'm really happy with how that one came out. So this is day 8, which is Hike. And it's this guy hitchhiking. So it's more of a play on the prompt. I think I used Tony Soprano as a reference for this one. I love that show. Sopranos is so good. But, and then we'll just slide. I don't really know how this is going to work. Future me, this is a problem for you. You can figure it out. Just squeeze the digital on there somehow. But yeah, I really like the digital one. Again, adds really great atmosphere to the illustration. If I could have shaded it, that would be great, but I don't think the effect achieved in the digital could have been achieved on paper. So I think that's kind of just like a plus of getting to do the digital stuff. It really just enhances it to a whole other level. And yeah, that's hitchhike or hike, I guess, if you want to be more literal about it. Moving on to day 9 was Sun. So I came up with this little thumbnail and then immediately just banged this one out right before class. I think I got to my visual effects class like 2 hours early, and I just sat in front of my computer and I just did it all right there. Again, this is kind of where I'm trying to experiment a bit more with like my ink work. Like I don't usually do these massive patches of black, mostly because I suck at it. It's very daunting to take something so permanent like ink and then just give a massive splotch onto your paper. Like that's pretty scary stuff. So I just kind of wanted to experiment with that. I was like, well, screw it. Like, and honestly, I think it just enhanced the final picture so much for this one. And this is one of my favorites. I think this is it's a really nice one. It came out really cool. All right, so moving on to day 10 is Nomadic, and we have a lot of thumbnails for today. This is actually the one I ended up going with, but I had a lot of other stuff. And this is the Grim Reaper Shepherd. I actually really liked that idea. That was a really cool one. I wish I had gone with that. Where it was like a Grim Reaper, but instead of like what does he have, a scythe? Is that what it's called? Instead of the scythe, he has the like a shepherd's crook, and instead of like a sheep, it's like a satanic goat. That's actually a cool idea. I might come back to that one. And then I think this was another play on that, but compositionally this one's just so much better. And then this is a guy dragging a cart. This is a cool one of like a hooded guy and a horse. This, I don't really know how to explain this one. We're gonna move on actually. So this is the final for Nomadic, which came out good. I think the concept is really interesting. I'm not super fond of the actual line work. This one's very lazy. I spent a bit less time on this one and then cranked out the digital, which helped save the lazy line work a little bit. But it's a cool concept and actually a cool creature design. I kind of like the turtle-like beak that it has there. That's really cool. I do wish I got to spend some more time on this one. On all of them, honestly. But it didn't come out half bad for what it was. So then day 11, which is snacks. And actually, this is cool. I think this was a bunch of zombies like feasting on this guy. And then I had these two ideas, which I think were both really strong. This one would have been amazing. I think this one would have been really good. And I think I started it, actually. Yeah, here it is. This is that drawing scaled up. But my project started catching up to me. And I was just like, I'm not going to be able to finish this drawing, which really, really bummed me out because it was such a cool composition. I fell in love with that thumbnail sketch. And I was like, well, this is the same, but just a bit lazier. So I went with this one. And actually, I had to swap the order. We'll have to flip back here somewhere. Here it is. So yeah, this is snacks. It's not great. It's not. I'm not gonna lie to you. It's not good. I wish this one I could have tried harder. And like I started going in with like heavier black shading, but then I didn't follow through at all. And it's just even the digital, man, did not save it. Man, the tongue. Why are his taste buds so pronounced? It's horrible. I think in concept, again, really cool. Like strong idea, but bad execution, man. So lazy. One of, if not like the weakest day. Well, no, it's not. There's a weaker one. Just, it's coming. But yeah, then on to day 12, which was remote. So we did the thumbnails here. But yeah, I did a TV guy. And I had this one, which was cool, but I ended up going with this one. Just because symbolically, I think that's a lot cooler. Because it's kind of representational of like a guy like, you know, offing himself. Or it's also representational of kind of like our addiction to screens, and I thought that was really cool. So, all right, I don't know. We're gonna have to find the actual drawing. All right, here's the actual drawing for day 12, which is remote. I think it came out really, really nice. I'm really happy with this one, especially the digital. This is actually one of the most popular ones, I think, from the challenge. Yeah, I wish I had some more time to work on it. I tried doing some line art shading on this one, kind of around the neck and the arms, but the digital helped enhance the line work enough that I'm very proud of this one. All right, on to day 13, which was Horizon. So over here we got the little thumbnails for that. I don't know what this one is. I think that's maybe like a guy coming up out of the ocean or something, but I don't really know. I should have labeled all of these, but I didn't. And then we got these two. I ended up going with this one. I think these are kind of the same thing, but it's like a house like on fire, like burning over the horizon. And then this is the final inked version. Took a bit of a risk with the grass doing all black like that, but I was comfortable enough in knowing what I could accomplish in the digital rendition that I felt good about doing that. And then really thin lines, just doing the fire and the smoke effects. Left the sky blank because I was like, all right, that'll just be solid fill color. And the digital, the colors in this are just really great. I love painting fire. It's so much fun, man. So moving on to day 14, which is Rome. So we got another walking word. Fantastic. Thank you, Jake Parker. I don't know why I always pick on Jake Parker. I don't think he runs the project anymore, now that I think about it. I don't know. The bit's still funny to me, so I don't care. So day 14 is Rome. These are my thumbnail sketches. I was kind of set on having like a zombie walk around. These three are all kind of the same, but I really like this one. I had plenty of time that day, I think. Please don't judge me when I show this one to you. This is what it looks like. It's really lazy, and I think I started realizing like, oh, this sucks. So I completely abandoned ship. And the digital, I wouldn't even say the digital saves this one. It helps. It's trying to rescue it, but it's failing. This is easily the weakest day of the whole challenge. Thankfully, we can only go up from here, right? So then moving on to day 15, which is guidebook. These are our 3 sketches here. I think this is the thumbnail I ended up going with, which is just this guy. It's supposed to be a monster reading up on a book on how to look human. So he's in like the trench coat disguise and everything. I don't know. Personally, I feel like I could have made it clearer, and then just, God, what is happening to this man's face? It looks like he was stung by like 50 bees. It's so puffy. Not that I'm shaming the guy or anything, you know. Some of us just have a natural baby face, and I've been told I have one too. I don't think it's true, but people have told me, and they're wrong. But moving on from this, we got day 16, which is grungy, and I had this idea of this little creature poking up out of like a trash can, and this thumbnail was really nice, and I really liked it, and I got really far with the ink job on it. Well, I finished it. This is finished, by the way. I kind of wish I had done some more stuff up in the top here, but I scanned it in, I did a colored version of it and everything, and then I was just like, nope, this is garbage. I probably could have just kept working on it, but this was a dark time because, you know, this drawing was messed up. I started doing like a zombie drawing that you can see right here. I didn't like this day. This one was really bad. I was not in a great place, and so I totally scrapped it, and this is this year's first cheat day. If you guys have seen all the other videos that we do the past 4 years, there's always a couple cheat days in here. I limit myself to 2. And this is the first one. Let's see, I think it's in this book, which is one of my favorite sketchbooks. Okay, I might be wrong. I don't think it's in this book. Okay, so I can't find it actually. That took me a ridiculously long time. I think I left it at school. So, future me, just put up a picture of what we used for grunge, please. Thank you. So yeah, it was just this zombie drawing I did, which actually I'm really, really happy with. It does not look like a lot of my other work, but it's a bit of a different style. I used a dried out brush pen, like it was dying, but it had this really cool look to it. And I don't think I ever posted that drawing, actually. Like, I scrolled through my Instagram, I was like, wow, I never put this up. And fit the prompt, I was just like, you know what? This is today. And then it was like 2 a.m. and I went to bed. So, moving on to day 17, which was journal. We got 2 thumbnails here. This one is just like, I think it's some guy writing out a scroll, but I ended up going with this one. So we have this, another like cultist type character kind of scribbling into this massive book. And, this is the final result for that, which is slightly disappointing to me. Just because, I don't know, the idea is really cool, and the line art is kind of there. It's actually really thin up here. You don't see a lot of line weight variation in here, which is what I would have liked to see more of. I think concept, and then also the digital rendition of this one totally saves it. The atmosphere and the lighting and everything gained in the digital coloring is definitely like, boom, like, that saves it. That makes this easily top 5 for sure from the whole year. And moving on to day 18, which is drive. Again, kind of a travel-y word, but you know, I'll let that one slide. One thumbnail today. I was feeling very confident on day 18, but it's just this creepy guy on one of those old-fashioned bicycles. This is the final for day 18. Pretty good. It's pretty good. I did some line shading, and I'm pretty happy with it. I think we could have done a bit more on paper. Again, I feel like I didn't really go the whole way with it, but it's good enough. And the digital rendition, again, the lighting, the atmosphere, the shading, everything just adds so much more to it and just takes it right across the finish line. Very happy with this one. It's very creepy. Then we move on to day 19, which is ridge, and we kind of got this little car balancing on the edge of a cliff. And then we move right on to the final. Actually, this one came out all right, and I wish if I had done some cross-hatching or something, you know, it really could have improved upon paper, but the digital rendition, again, noticing a theme here, I think, really saves it. And I'm happy with this one, too. Looks good. You kind of start running out of things to say for these, I've realized. That kind of happens. I think that happens every single year. Day 20, we get to Uncharted. I think this day was a struggle for me. I started running out of ideas, and I kind of had This idea of these guys in the pit. And I think that was a callback to year 1. I don't know, man. I did all these different ideas, and then I just ended up doing a compass. It's all I had, man. It's all I had. Yeah, we got some cross-hatching in here, though. I was like, you know what? The idea is lame. It's boring, but I'll shade it. I'll shade it at least. And there's actually no digital rendition because of that, which is fine. I don't think it really needs it. But yeah, that's Uncharted. So now we're on to day 21, which is Rhinoceros. This guy's just like got a horn growing out of his head or something. I was trying to experiment with like a rhinoceros monster type thing. That's actually what I ended up going with. This one's kind of rough. Honestly, it just looks like a shitty rhinoceros drawing, except that it has sharp, pointy teeth and some drool. It's kind of weak. This was kind of like a slow period for me. I wasn't happy with this when I first drew it, and then, you know, this day was that day, and then I wasn't happy with this, but this is where we start to kind of have a comeback, you know? I was talking about those low lows and those high highs. We're starting to get back up to the high highs now. But before we get to this high high, we have a cheat day. So this is actually the lowest of the low because it goes from bad days to just like, I don't want to draw today. And the cheat day is day 22, which is camp. I just want to preface this by saying that literally 2 years ago, they did a prompt that was camping. That's the same word, guys. I mean, like, come on. So yeah, I got the book right here that the drawing is in, and I literally just reposted that same illustration from 2022. It's this drawing, you guys remember that? And this one actually had digital rendition as well, which I don't think I got to show you the year that it was created, but here it is, because it came out really sick. And this is what it looks like. Awesome illustration, really good, and I was like, I'm not gonna outdo that. I think my mentality for it was like, you know what, if they're gonna be lazy, I'm gonna be lazy too. Because, like, you know, that's just unfair. And I think kind of ridiculous that they just couldn't come up with a new challenge, like, or a new prompt idea. So yeah, this is the illustration, this is the colored version. This is actually one of my favorite drawings, like, ever. Like, I just really love it, and the colors and all of it. It's just a really nice picture. Now we come back to our redemption arc, if you will. So day 23 was Rust, and I was looking at this like picture of like an old rusty car, but I ended up doing this rusty like pipe with stuff coming out of it, and that's what we ended up doing for day 23. This one's great. I'm really happy with this one. The line art was really good. I did some line shading because I was like, you know what? I'm sick of like half-assing these drawings. Like, I want to be proud of what I'm doing. And I really liked the idea too, just like this meat pulp coming out of it, kind of like if you grinded up a person. Like a person is like going through this plumbing, they're being like pushed through the pipes. Kind of like a meat grinder sort of. You see like a little finger and like curly, is that a pube? That's gross. Then we move on to day 24, which is Expedition. I thought for this one, you know what? Let's do the mission characters. If you don't know who the mission characters are, they're characters from this comic called The Mission that I drew. So yeah, these are the thumbnails. We got the little characters just kind of like walking around and whatever. I ended up going with this top one just because I really like the composition of it. And this is the final result. But yeah, it came out really cool. I think I tried replicating last year's mission illustration a bit too much. Pop up the one from last year. This one came out really cool. It's kind of like a vintage horror movie poster style. This is more in like a comic booky style, like in the style that the actual comic was drawn in. I'll never get tired of drawing these guys. So then moving on to day 5 is Scarecrow. One thumbnail for that day. Sketch of like a guy up kind of like on a crucifix sort of thing, where he's in like this field of wheat. And so this was the final result, and then the colored version. Yeah, really happy with this one. And actually the shading in here is really nice. I do have some cross-hatching, but it's minimal. Oh my god, look, birds! I hate birds. I hate them so much. Drawing birds is like really difficult. To all my fellow artists out there, if you are good at drawing birds, you are a hero, but I hate drawing them. So then on to day 26, we go to the prompt camera. I just wanted to draw simple object, no fancy illustration here, just a little camcorder, and I'm actually very happy with how this came out. There's no digital version for this one, unfortunately, but we got a lot of shading in here on paper. I just love these old style cameras. I actually have this camera. I have it in my office. It's broken currently, but I'm trying to fix it by looking through a bunch of Reddit pages. So I probably won't end up fixing it then. I really want to get it fixed because then I can actually make like found footage film with like a real old camera, and that would be sick, dude. Like, come on, that would be so cool. But yeah, that's day 26, camera, and then we move on to day 27, which is road. These thumbnails are actually really interesting. Like a car with like these long, lanky legs. But I ended up going with this one, on this guy impaled by a road sign. It's okay. It's actually a lot better. I was really, really miserable with this one the day that I drew it. I was not happy with this picture. But looking at it now, the line art quality, it's pretty strong. And then the digital coloring, it adds a nice flair to it, I think. And wait, did I do a digital coloring for this version? All right, if I'm talking about digital color and there's no color up there, future me, you can bully me and make fun of me with little text bubbles if you want, because I'm an idiot. All right, now we're on to day 28, which is Jumbo. And we had a lot of ideas for this actually, but I ended up going with this guy with like an oversized head. But yeah, this is the final for Jumbo. I think this day and the first day were the only ones that I actually labeled, but I just thought the font was cool. And I'm actually really happy with the line work with this one. The digital, not so much. I feel like the coloring didn't really add much to this. Really happy with the faces. I think I've become a lot more comfortable drawing faces. You know, I used to avoid them. It's where the name of the channel came from. It's because I hated drawing faces, and that's where the faceless men and the monsters came from. But it's just, they're fun. They're fun to draw. Once you get the hang of it, it's a nice skill to have. But yeah, that's Jumbo. And moving on from that, we go to day 29, which is Navigator. We did just a quick little mock-up sketch of this like navigation tool. This is what the device looks like. This one was really fun to draw. Like, I got really into doing like all the little like technical details and I find like chunky technology just aesthetically really cool, and then also like really fun to draw. Like, that's like my favorite style of sci-fi. And then the digital coloring just brought it to life. I got to invert the screen, so the screen was black, and I was able to change the line art color to white. So it looked like an actual like digital display, which was a neat little effect I got to add. And moving on from that, we get to day 30. We're in the last 2 days. This was violin. I knew I wanted to do a character in this kind of pose, just playing a violin, but I was like, he's gotta be creepy, right? You know, he's gotta fit the vibe, he's gotta fit the theme, he's gotta be spooky. So I got some different versions here. This one's kind of funny. This one's sort of like a mime kind of vibe. I believe this is kind of what I ended up going with. Yeah, this is the final. So yeah, kind of a mix of those two thumbnails. But yeah, this is the final version. I'm actually really happy with just the line art in this one. I think it's pretty solid. And the digital rendition, pretty good. That's a solid drawing. Very creepy guy. I like that a lot. Okay, so now we're moving on to the last and final day, and this is a very like important drawing for me. This is day 31, which is landmark. Well, this is a landmark a bit more metaphorically. Like, it's a milestone basically. This is burying the hatchet, if you will. This is burying this challenge. This is the death of Inktober for me, but it's also kind of to just pay respect to the challenge, because at the end of the day, this challenge created me as an artist. I mean, it brought so much to me and to my art, and this is my last year. This is my last year doing it, so I wanted to go all out with the drawing, this final drawing. I was like, I can't skimp out, so I wanted to detail it. I'm happy with the result. Really, I am. I don't think it's the best Inktober drawing I've ever done, but I'm proud to say that it's my last one, you know? I'm proud to be like, you know what? I ended it there, and that's a good place. Like, I'm comfortable with that being my final entry. And I'm thinking maybe at some point in the future, I can draw somebody digging up that grave. Deadpool and Wolverine style, just absolutely desecrating this grave and bringing it back to life. But yeah, and that's year 5. Not to get sappy, because being sappy is lame. Being sappy is for nerds. Yeah, this is my last year doing Inktober. And I know these aren't the most popular videos on the channel, but I don't give a shit. I don't care. These are some of my favorite videos to make every year. Like, I look forward to making these every single year. I'm gonna miss making these for a while, but you know what? Like I said, I think one day I will probably return to the challenge and do it again. And when that day comes, I can't wait. Yeah, thank you guys for all sticking through. Thank you for following me for 5 years. I really appreciate that. And I love you all for it so much. Yeah, that's pretty much it. If you like my work, again, please go support me on my Patreon page. You can pledge $1 a month, and that's it. You can do $3 a month and get the benefits that come with that. Shit, you can pay me $3, download all the stuff, and then dip out if you really want to. That's totally cool. But yeah, do that. Join the Discord server. Buy a t-shirt. Buy a t-shirt if you want. Get somebody a gift for the holidays. But anyway, you want to support me, I would greatly appreciate. And I'd be very grateful for it. But yeah, that's the end of the video, guys. So thank you so much for watching, and I will see you in the next one. Bye-bye.